The Burnett Vouchers, Signature Evidence and the Material Record. A Barrows Research documentary presentation of Memorandum GC, BCH1 in the Garden Creek and Mount Pisgah Provenance Investigation. August 2026. The attribution of the figurines to Burnett has rested on two supports. Documentarily, on a set of Smithsonian purchase vouchers bearing his name. Narratively, on the accusation record built around them. This film examines both the signatures and the stone. Finding 1. The vouchers were not signed by Burnett. Evidence grade strong, pending forensic document examination. Vouchers survive where money must account for itself. The settled files of the United States Treasury at the National Archives. Statement of the account of J. McChesney, Dispersing Agent, North American Ethnology, Smithsonian Institution, 1883. On the jacket, 2 words, vouchers inside. Sub-voucher, April 24, 1883. The United States to J. Burnett. 1 image at $4. 1 bear at 5. 3 images at $1 each. A large pie. Huths. Modus. 4 pipes. 3 birds. 2 bears. $28.50 received at Asheville, North Carolina from J. W. Emerton. Full payment. Signed in duplicate. J. Burnett. Sub-voucher number 1, May 21st. 15 soapstone specimens at $1.46 and 2/3 each. $22 received at Asheville from John W. Emmert, ethnologic assistant. And 1 detail for the record, the head of this voucher is made out to S. Burnett. The foot is signed J. Burnett. The first line of evidence is the exemplar comparison. Set against Burnett's authenticated signature, the voucher's signatures show gross nonconformity in letter construction and overall form. This is not the minor drift expected of one hand across occasions. The signatures side by side, 2 receipts rendered as J. Burnett's set first against one another and then against the authenticated hand of John W. Emmert, a agent, who made both payments, an original of 1886 stamped at the Bureau and a letter of May 1883, the same month as the second voucher. The variance is on the screen. The determination of authorship is reserved by this record for a qualified document examiner. The second line is internal. Across the voucher set, the signatures display too many varieties to come from a single writer. They do not agree with the exemplar, and they do not agree with one another. Excessive variance within the set is itself evidence against authenticity of execution independent of any exemplar. The testimonial record points the same direction. Burnett's recorded statement denies that he made the figurines, and no document in the corpus records Burnett ever claimed manufacture, no valid signature, an explicit denial, and no affirmative claim anywhere. 1 day after the April voucher, Emmert writes Cyrus Thomas. The letter survives as a marked copy, register 25456. Quote, I have had a hard lot of men to deal with, but have succeeded in getting your specimens made, which I ship by express to Major Powell today. End quote. The same letter relays a claim about Mr. Valentine, that he had men make his specimens and bury them, and that he afterwards came back with other men and had them dug up. Specimens made in the Bureau's own file 1 day after payment for images, bears, and pipes. 3 years on, an original in Emmert's own hand stamped at the Bureau of Ethnology, Register 852445. Dr. Thomas asks whether Emmert objects to publication of his statements about the soapstone specimens obtained in North Carolina. No objections, whatever Emmert answers. Quote, I did promise the parties who manufactured them that their names should not be made public. End quote. Manufacture in the agent's own hand with the maker's names withheld by promise, and this signature is the exemplar. 5 Emmert letters are indexed across 3 weeks of 1883. 2 survive in the transcription record. 3, May 3rd and 2 of May 11th, are indexed but absent. The absent span sits between the 2 Burnett vouchers, April 24th and May 21st. The gap is offered as a record fact. Its cause is unresolved. What does the finding establish? It severs the vouchers as documentary evidence tying Burnett to manufacture, to sale, or to receipt of payment. What it does not establish by itself is who signed the vouchers, why, or with what intent. 4 explanations remain to be run down. Proxy signing by an agent to practice attested in the period. The retained copy hypothesis, that the surviving vouchers are clerical transcriptions rather than executed originals. Name confusion among individuals of the same surname. And fabrication, signatures executed to paper, a transaction that did not occur as recorded. Fabrication is the strongest reading. It is not asserted here. It requires the exclusion of the other three. The finding is offered with its falsifiers named, a qualified document examiner's opinion of common authorship, a period authorization for proxy signing that names Burnett, a determination that the variance is confined to copies while the originals bear a matching hand, or an authenticated document in which Burnett claims the work. Any one of these would force revision. Consequence for the attribution, with the Vouchers failing examination and Burnett's denial on record, a proposition that Burnett made the figurines is graded contradicted at the documentary level. Its sole documentary support does not survive. Contradicted does not mean impossible. The grade records that the available primary evidence points against the attribution, not that a negative has been proven. Finding 2. The stone itself. Rao identified the material as potstone, steatite. The evidence supports a different picture. The corpus is not one material, it is a mix. Fired clay, sandstone, steatite, and goethite bearing ferruginous material. Grade supported, pending petrographic anchors keyed to object numbers. And the corpus was heated. Where steatite is present, talc converts to enstatite at roughly 800 to 900 degrees Celsius, a paleothermometer written into the mineral itself. And fired clay is by definition heat exposed. Where the conversion is instrumentally documented, a heat finding is graded strong. 3 consequences follow. A single material, single carver narrative does not fit a mixed media corpus. Rao's ferruginous soak mechanism, already contradicted by steatite non-porosity, now loses its premise. A material he proposed to soak is not, in substantial part, a material present, and heat exposure is a production datum, not an authenticity verdict. Any narrative, period manufacture, or later fabrication must now account for the firing. Neither gets it for free. Record graded. The Vouchers were not signed by Burnett. Strong. Burnett manufactured the figurines. Contradicted. The corpus is materially heterogeneous. Supported. Pending anchors. Portions of the corpus were heat exposed. Strong. Where instrumented. Anchors set by this record. Treasury settle account 237177 and the Bureau's correspondence registers. Anchors still pending. The full archival citation to record group and box, the denials source and custody, and petrography keyed to object numbers. The findings stand within the governing model, a mixed corpus resolved object by object with the falsifiers named. Varro's research. Source finds and corpus compilation. Samantha Waddell, August 2026.